Approximately 2 weeks before President Trump was elected back in November of 2016, we had sources on from the NYPD, FBI, Blackwater connections, you name it, confirming to us that U.S. intelligence agencies, who certainly aren't perfect, but aren't pedophiles, had decided to basically roll up the globalist operation that was using pedophilia as a control system here in the United States and Europe. And there's countless articles about the royal family and Jimmy Savile, and in Europe proper, all the pedophile networks controlling people. That's how you get into their power structure, is by committing crimes so heinous they believe they control you. And I was told, and I said on air, that you will begin to see the roll-up of pedophile networks coast to coast, starting in California, New York, D.C., Florida, you name it. And now we've seen 474 people arrested a few weeks ago in California, hundreds on the East Coast, a bunch of people in Pennsylvania. And I made the point that Pennsylvania, from our sources, is like one of the main headquarters, not just Penn State, but all these other events that keep coming out of there, the connections with pedophilia from our sources to the DuPonts, you name it. So Jerry Sandusky's son has now been arrested today on child sex charges. Now, the way they work, and I talked about this 2 weeks ago on Joe Rogan's podcast, it's being censored. It's the biggest podcast in world history on iTunes. He has the internal screenshots. He's put them out. They're not even letting it list at the top or even anywhere on iTunes. It's the episode 911. I talked about how they would adopt kids as Renfields, to use the Dracula analogy, to go out and procure the kids, older kids that go out and trick the kids into getting into the white van. Candy, puppies, you name it. Another older kid comes out and says it's safe, it's fine. He's now been arrested, reportedly going after kids. Now, this is the state police doing that. What does this tell you? Exactly the intel we got that Trump is going to go after this control arm that is pedophilia based. And if they roll up key controllers or Renfields that are the procurers or the delivery men for the children, allegedly, reportedly, that will then bring down the entire house of cards. And that's why all the weird, twisted, ugly, hunchback weirdos you see who don't even know what day it is or what's going on, it doesn't matter. They're in the club. They think they're invincible. They are all panicking about Trump because Trump is not a pedophile. And you don't get in the club if you're not a pedophile, and they don't like Trump. Now, we also have Eric Prince, formerly of Blackwater XZ, highly connected, saying the reports out of New York are confirmed, pre-Pizzagate news, that all of this is taking place, and that Jerry Epstein and the Clintons and others are flying kids out of the country and raping them and going to this Lolita Island, this Lolita Express. I mean, this is all there. And is there anything our intelligence agencies wouldn't put up with that was so evil? Funding radical Islam, Benghazi, selling us out to radical jihadists, pedophilia. I told you this was all coming. And I told you they would roll up the procurers, and then you'd see the big action start to happen. Now, I've got to call my investigative journalist tonight, and I've got to work with some people either tomorrow or the next day on Wednesday. I'm going to break big news separately about the moles inside the Trump White House that are communicating with Paul Ryan and others to hijack this movement and kill tax cuts and kill the repeal of Obamacare and so much more. I already covered that quite a bit today. It's up on Infowars.com. But tomorrow morning, I'm a little bit behind, but we're going to probably launch this tomorrow. We're going to get to this big investigative report. So I'm going to end this live transmission right now, and then I'm going to get to work on that for the rest of the evening, because my children and your children are worth standing up against these monsters. But Trump isn't just repealing TPP, that was unelected global government. He's not just defending our borders and standing up against globalist one-sided trade deals. He's not just moving to cut taxes of poor people and pulling us out of the carbon tax. It's a 30% tax on average a year on your power prices. It's already in place. He's pulling out of that. It was done illegally, so he can executively pull out of it. He is battling the really evil networks, the Crowley-type demons, the spirit cookers that we're dealing with. So just look this up for yourself and realize the type of evil we're facing as we put Sandusky's son back up on screen. But you look at that soulless creature, in my opinion, that is a Renfield biological android programmed from a very young age to go out and procure, and he himself is a horrid slave and a wretch. We should pray for Sandusky's son, and of course Sandusky and Patrono, who magically died real quick when the whole investigation started. But his father was raping children in broad daylight at high noon in front of everybody. People were like, why was he raping kids in front of people? Because that's the spiritual energy of not just sucking the soul out of a kid by raping or killing him. You got to do it in front of people with a lesser magic, like in the video game of Satan, to boost the goodies. So a public satanic ritual at a football game, NFL, is much better than one in private. You understand? Or teaching kids how to be trannies when they're 5 years old. That's even better. Not against an adult who wants to be a tranny. The point is you want to sexualize children. This is pedophilia with Salon Magazine promoting it. That's no big deal. The UN having NAMBLA, the pedophile group, openly as one of their official groups saying we should adopt this. This is the true bottom of the barrel. And good people stand down to it, so it takes over. But in California, they won't let them build new dams. They won't let them with the reservoirs. They always say endangered fish, give the farmers water. Now it's overflowing, and this dam is a archetypal example of how they can't stop the truth and how nothing will stop reality coming back into the world as humanity awakens. The sleeper is awakening. The giant is awakening. So good luck, pedophiles and devil worshipers and control freaks and people that thought sleeping humanity was this fun thing to vandalize. How about you deal with awake humanity? Because the sleeping giant is just now getting up in bed and just now waking up, and that's already overrunning you and defeating you. The dam's breaking. Wait till the eyes open. Wait till the giant sees what you've done. Wait till the giant stands and moves against you. Then you will know the fear of God. I'm Alex Jones. This is the InfoWar. They're censoring InfoWars on every major platform. Spread those links because human intelligence, will defeat them. Infowars.com/show. And I'll see you back, Lord willing, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central.